She came to my wedding dressed as the bride, so I gave her a reception to remember. My husband Daniel's mother Gloria has always treated other women like competition, and I don't mean that in the normal protective mother way. I mean she showed up wearing yoga pants during his high school girlfriend's birthday party and spent the entire time doing yoga poses in the living room. And with me, it started small. Gloria would accidentally call me by his ex's name, then apologize while mentioning how naturally skinny she was. She was scheduling her spray tan appointments during our date nights, calling Daniel with emergencies about heart palpitations. When I got promoted at work, she enrolled in the same industry certification program and framed her completion certificate in Daniel's old bedroom. We learned to manage her like a natural disaster. Daniel stopped telling her our plans. His sister blocked her on social media, and I started buying decoy outfits for events. We thought we had her contained until we got engaged. That's when she escalated from annoying to unhinged. She created a fake dating profile for Daniel with his college photos, messaging my coworkers. She hired a private investigator to dig up dirt on my family and CC'd my boss on the report about my uncle's bankruptcy. When we sent wedding invitations, she called my relatives claiming I was pregnant and trapping her son. The restraining order after she broke into our apartment to steal my wedding dress only gave her ammunition to play victim, sobbing about how her son chose that woman over family. But nothing came close to what she pulled at our wedding. We had hired security, given them Gloria's photo, and even changed venues at the last minute to make sure she couldn't ruin it. Daniel seemed relaxed for the first time in months, but I should have known she wouldn't go down without a fight. I was fixing my veil when my bridesmaid gasped at her phone and showed me a photo from the lobby. There was Gloria, having somehow transformed herself completely, 40 pounds thinner, with my exact hair color and style, looking practically like my twin. But that wasn't the worst part. She was wearing a white Vera Wang gown with hand-sewn crystals, a cathedral train, and a tiara. My dress was a simple A-line I'd bought on sale. She'd outbride the bride at her own wedding. We found her holding court by the gift table, telling guests how traditions are meant to evolve. Daniel's hands shook as he saw her, and I watched 3 years of therapy crumble in his eyes. That's when it hit me. Watching my husband shrink back into the scared boy she'd raised, I realized I could either let security drag her out screaming, giving her the dramatic victim story she'd dine on forever, or I could give her the spotlight she wanted. I whispered to my maid of honor to get the chocolate fountain running, then made my move, weaving through clusters of shocked guests like a shark through water. Gloria was near the dessert table, surrounded by Daniel's cousins, demonstrating how her dress moved better than mine with little twirls. I approached Gloria with my biggest smile, gushing about how gorgeous she looked, and how we simply had to get a photo together by the fountain as two brides in white. She preened at the compliment, following me like a peacock to the dessert station. I positioned her with her back to the fountain, then pointed behind her at the photographer, and executed the most perfectly planned accident of my life. The push sent her backwards into the fountain with a splash that created instant silence. Dark chocolate exploded across her white gown like a Jackson Pollock painting. I dropped to the ground immediately, grabbing at her dress while wailing about my clumsiness. "Oh my god, Gloria, I'm so sorry. Your beautiful gown is completely ruined." I even managed real tears, all those acting classes finally paying dividends. She stood there paralyzed, chocolate streaming down her body. For the first time in her life, Gloria didn't know what to do. She couldn't lash out without looking unhinged at her son's wedding. She couldn't even attack me without proving she was the monster Daniel described. She just stood there, as the center of attention like she'd demanded, looking like she'd lost a wrestling match with Willy Wonka. She ran to the kitchen and started hosing herself down, but the dress was beyond repair. By the time she changed into a humble blonde dress, the ceremony was long over. Daniel and I were married, the guests were already eating after having taken the photos. Everyone had witnessed her complete humiliation, and she didn't even know which table to sit on. We never assigned her one. She just stood in a corner, blocked by security as Daniel and I had our first dance, which was beautiful. Gloria tells everyone she was attacked at her son's wedding, leaving out why she was there uninvited or what she was wearing. But the real gift came at Daniel's family reunion 6 months later, when his cousin set up a chocolate fountain and everyone laughed so hard they had to clutch their stomachs with their hands. She wanted to be the bride at our wedding so badly that she became the entertainment instead.